Welcome to TechBrothers. Today we're going to learn how to install Windows 10 from scratch on a new system. There are three ways that you can install Windows 10. Number one is you can install Windows 10 from the scratch on your new system. Let's say you bought a new computer and you wanted to install Windows 10, you can do that. Number two, you can also upgrade if you're already running Windows 7 to Windows 10, and I'll put that video later on as well. And if you're running Windows 8 or 8.1, you can upgrade that to Windows 10, and I'll show that in later videos as well. In this demo, what we're going to do is install Windows 10 from the scratch on a new system. In order to do that, we have to complete these steps. So our first step is how to download Windows 10 Media Creation Tool. What this Media Creation Tool does is, number one, it downloads the Windows for you. Number two, it makes your media, whether your media is USB or DVD, it makes your media bootable. So you can boot your computer, your brand new computer, with that media and start installing Windows 10. So I'll show you real quick that. Number two, how to identify which version of Windows 10 you need. For this demo, it doesn't matter since I'm going to start from scratch. There are two versions of operating system type. Number one is 32-bit system. Number two is 64-bit system. So if you are upgrading your Windows 7 or 8.1 or 8 to Windows 10, what you need to do is check your system type. If your system type is 32-bit, then you need to download 32-bit Windows 10. If your system type version is 64-bit, then you need to download 64-bit of Windows 10. So I'll show you that as well, that how to check that. Number three, how to select media. There are different options when you select the media. Number one is USB. You can basically you have to have USB and connected with that computer. When you download it, you can select the USB, and that USB needs to be at least 4 gig in space. So if you have 4 gig free space in USB, you can make that USB into bootable Windows 10 media. Recommendation is that you should use the USB that is completely empty and should be more than 4 gig. So that would be a best choice. You can also burn the DVD and make a Windows 10 DVD. That would be also bootable DVD. And third option up here is ISO file. So this is the ISO file that I'm going to use in this demo, but I'll show you how to make the USB and DVD as well. But ISO file is you can basically, if you're running Windows 8 or 8.1, you can right click on the ISO file and mount that. What it'll do when you mount ISO file, it'll make that file as a drive, and you can see all the files and setup that you can basically click on setup and start installing your Windows 10. And that is what we're going to do in this demo. Number four up here, how to set up your boot options from USB or DVD from the BIOS setup. I won't be able to show you in this video that how to do that. However, what I'm going to do to make things easier for you, I have a virtual environment and I have created a virtual machine where I'm going to install Windows 10, and it doesn't have any issues installing Windows 10 on a virtual machine. And I'll show you the BIOS setting on the virtual, which will be exactly like your BIOS setup. It depends really which laptop, which company's laptop you're using. If you're installing Windows 10 for your home as a home edition, then when you restart your computer, what it does is the first message that you get, it says that press this key in order to get into BIOS. So once you press that key, you will enter into BIOS, and you need to find where the boot options are. And again, I'll show you on the virtual machine. It will look kind of like that, but not exactly like that. You will have a different screen, but options would be the same, that you can move it up and down, that which media you wanted your computer to boot from. So I'll show you that as well. Number five, system requirements to install Windows 10. When you're installing Windows 10 from the scratch and you have Windows 10 on your media, what it does is that it just look at the physical system requirements, CPU, RAM, and your disk space. So once that's installed, what it does is that you can click on download all the updates on Windows 10, and that's when it installed all the system requirements in order for Windows 10 to run smoothly. But if you're upgrading, the first option that you get from the media is that there are updates available that needs to be installed on your Windows before Windows 10 setup will start. So what couple things needs to be noticed up there. If you don't have Internet Explorer 11, it basically download from the internet and install Windows 11. Internet Explorer 11, and then it start installation of your Windows. There are a couple important things that it basically checks in system requirements. Without that, the setup will not complete successfully. In the end, once we complete step 1 to 5, we will do the step-by-step demo of installation of Windows 10. So let's go ahead and check how to download Windows 10 media creation tool. So here's my Internet Explorer. What I did was I went to Google and I typed download Windows 10, and I got to this page. So let's quickly go through this page. As you can see that you can click on system requirements here and take a look on the system requirements before you start installing your Windows 10, and it will tell you all the software requirements as well as hardware requirements. One thing that I mentioned there, that if you plan to create your USB as a media of Windows 10, then you need to have at least 4 gig free, and recommendation is right here too, that it should be blank, and that would be better media, so you won't lose any files on your USB if there are files existing on your USB. But next thing right here, I wanted to mention this for the folks that who are trying to create some of the laptops in organization to run Windows 10. If they're running Enterprise Edition of Windows 7 or Windows 8.1, in my case I am running that, they need to go on MSDN, or they need to purchase the license for Windows 10 in order to install Windows 10 from Windows 7. There is no upgrade option for Enterprise Edition. If you have Home Edition, yes, you get the option that it can go ahead and upgrade right away. So let's go ahead and check this out, that if you have Enterprise Edition, what kind of error you get if you try to use the media creation tool. Let's go ahead and click on download tool now. Save file. Once the file is downloaded, you can click on the file. It says something happened, and this is the error number. And what happened is, because my system is Enterprise Edition, right here if you take a look, 8.1 Enterprise, what it means is, if your system is Enterprise, that means that you are using for your business, and if you have a business portal with Microsoft, you need to go on that portal and download your Windows 10, and then you can use that Windows 10 and install on your business laptops or user laptops. So I do have another system where I'm running Windows 2000 Windows 7 Professional. So right here I had the same page, I clicked on download the tools, and I got these options right here. Let's go ahead and quickly check the system. As you can see that it says Windows 7 Professional. If I would have Windows 7 Enterprise, I would have gotten the same error. So these are the options we get, that whether we wanted to use USB flash drive or ISO file. I have downloaded already ISO file for this demo, but I'm going to show you that how you can make your USB as a media for Windows 10. So let's go back and look at the options. First option, you will see that upgrade this PC now. You can click that, but for that you need to back up every file, because if something goes wrong, you might lose your files. Number 2 up here is create installation media for another PC, which is basically this demo is about. We are going to create installation media for another PC which is brand new, and we wanted to install Windows 10. So I clicked on create installation media for another PC, so click next, and then you will get an option of language. In my case it's English United States, and addition I have right here is Windows 10 Home. As you can see that if you use this tool, you will not get an option of downloading Windows 10 Enterprise. I do have ISO for Windows 10 Enterprise, which in installation, when it comes to installation, it's the same thing, but it does have a little more features to support your small businesses. But this is for Windows 10 Home Edition. I just wanted to show you that how to create the media file for Windows 10 for your home PC. So you can select whether you wanted to install Windows 10 Home or Windows 10 Home single language. All these options you get. Architecture, we went through that if your system is 64-bit, you need to click on 64-bit. You do have an option to click on both. That media will work whether it's 32-bit or 64-bit. It'll detect and will start installing that. Right here you have a 32-bit, 64-bit, or both. So both would be a little bigger file than these, so I'm going to choose 64-bit and click next. Now option we get is ISO file and USB, so I'm going to go ahead and select USB flash drive. It says that it needs to be at least 3 gig. We went through the recommendation that you should have 4 gig space in that flash drive, and it is better if it's empty. So click next, and right here is removable drive for me, so it already detected with that computer, so I'm going to click next. And now it's downloading Windows 10. After it's finished downloading Windows 10, it's gonna go ahead and create the bootable drive for Windows 10. Alright, as you can see, our USB flash drive is ready. We do have a warning right here: make sure you have the product key when you are ready to install. So there are a couple things needs to be noticed here when it says that product key. If you are upgrading your Windows 7 to Windows 10, you do need the product key of your Windows 7, or if you're upgrading your Windows 8.1 or 8 to Windows 10, you need to have your Windows 8 or 8.1 product key, because that's what it'll take in order to upgrade. So let's go ahead and click finish. What I'm going to do right now is go to my virtual environment, and I'm going to show you that how your BIOS setup will look. First thing that you need to do is take this USB from this server to the new server where you wanted to install Windows 10. So let's go ahead and minimize this. I'm going to go ahead and log into my virtual environment. Alright, this is my machine where I'm going to install Windows 10. Let me right click on that. My machine right now is turned off. This is just the virtual machine. There is no operating system installed. It's just like you buy a new computer with no operating system. So what you do is, I'm assuming that you put that USB, you plug that in with the computer where you wanted to install your Windows 10. So let's go ahead and click on setting, and I'm going to show you real quick that how your BIOS would look like. As you can see in my VM environment, right here is BIOS. You will see in your, once you go reboot your computer, it'll tell you that which key to press in order to go to BIOS. So once you are in BIOS, you are going to go in boot order, and boot order should look like this, similar to this. So you will have your CD-ROM, the first preference, your hard drive, the second preference. Right now is a legacy network adapter, but up there you might have a network, your boot option, floppy, and USB. So what you need to do is basically you can move up and down in your BIOS as well, just like I could do. Move up and move down like that. So this is how you would do if you wanted to. Basically, if your hard drive doesn't have anything, if your CD-ROM doesn't have anything, it'll go to the next option. It'll take a fraction of a second. You won't even know that it has gone through all your boot options, but wherever it'll find the boot option, it'll go ahead and take that. But it's always a good idea to move up your boot option to your USB that we just created. So let's go ahead and this is what I wanted to show you real quick. In my case, I do have ISO downloaded. So in my case, if I go to my hard drive, this is my hard drive, this is my DVD drive, this is all virtual drive. So I have an option right here that if I have image file, which is ISO file, I can give it right here. Or if I have a physical CD or DVD, I can basically choose from here. If I click on here, right now in this computer, if you notice right here, the DVD is E. So if I have put my DVD into the DVD drive in my computer, then it would show up right here. But right now I do have an image, ISO image, that I downloaded. So let's go ahead and browse that. Here's my Windows 10. This is my ISO file. So I will give that ISO file and click apply and OK. Now once I will turn on this machine, it will start installing Windows 10, just like it'll start installing on your machine, the new machine that you just changed the boot option to start from USB. So let's go ahead and connect so that we would know that what's going on. So right here in green button, this is my start button in my virtual environment. This is my virtual machine. So let's go ahead and click start. And virtual machine is starting. It's gonna take that image and start installing Windows 10. Since this is a virtual machine, it doesn't have much memory. It's gonna take a little bit time, but once it start installing, what we will do, I'll pause the video, and once the installation is finished and we move on to our next steps, I'll come back. So click on next, click on install now. As you can see that it's saying setup is starting. Accept the license, click next, and click on custom install Windows only. As you can see that I have 30 gig. It needs about 11 gig of space on your hard drive in order to install Windows 10. Click next, and the installation is started. This installation is going to take some time. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. Once the installation is completed, I'll be back. Alright, it has downloaded and installed most of the stuff for us, but before we finish our installation, we need to do some settings. You have two options. One is that you can go ahead and use Express settings, and it will do the Express settings right away and your Windows will appear. Other, you have custom settings. You can click on custom setting and it'll ask you every setting how you want to set it up. In this demo, we're going to use Express setting. The reason I'm doing the Express setting is that all the custom settings I'll go through in my later videos. All the new features I'll give you brief introduction, how to use them, and if something needs to be enabled or disabled, how to do that. So stay tuned for that. I'm also gonna make next two installation videos, which is upgrading your Windows 7 to Windows 10 and Windows 8.1 to 10. Stay tuned for that too. So let's go ahead and click use Express setting. installed on your computer. It depends on the physical resources such as CPU, RAM on your computer. The beefy your computer or laptop is, it's gonna take less time. I have 4 gig RAM and I have one CPU, so it's taking a little bit longer than what I expect. One more thing while it's doing that, I wanted to mention that some of the features in Windows 10, in order for those features to be enabled or work properly, you need to have Microsoft account. If you don't have Microsoft account, what you can do basically is go sign up for Microsoft account. You can use your Microsoft Live ID to create Microsoft account. So as soon as you create Microsoft account, you can give that account and enable or disable some of the Windows 10 features. Again, as I said, that I'll go through those features as well in later videos. As you can see, the next thing it asks us whether we wanted to join Azure Active Directory or join a domain. If you have your domain at home, if you have little network, then you can click on join a domain. But if you click on join Azure AD, you need to have a Microsoft account, you need to have Azure subscription for that. Click on join a domain, click continue, and here you can give username and password. I'm gonna go ahead and use TechBrothers user, strong password right here. Click next, and there you go. The installation is almost completed. It's going to do some more settings for you, and then you will see Windows 10. Alright, here's your Windows 10 that's installed. As you notice right here, some of the drivers did not get loaded when I installed Windows 10. But what you can do if this happens to you, you can go ahead and register your Windows 10 online, and once your registration is complete, you can download all the updates of Windows 10 on your PC, and what it'll do, it'll go ahead and see that if there is no driver already installed on your machine, it's gonna go ahead and download those drivers from your from the internet, and we'll go ahead and install it for you. And again, as I said, that I'm going to go ahead and create a lot of videos about the new features and how to use them, and stay tuned. I hope this installation demo helped.